Okay, welcome to my channel. On today's episode, I'm just going to be doing a little haul of the books that not a haul, a little brief video of the books that I own and some of the new ones I did just find, and probably a rating of them. So starting off, we have the Autumn Cara Book of Celtic Wisdom. This book, you guys, I absolutely adore. It has some of the best sayings and quotes I have ever read. I'm definitely going to be adding some of these into my Book of Shadows, as well as just some really good positive vibes for, rejuvenation, I guess. I don't know. This is just a really good book. If you haven't read it, I suggest you do. It's so good to me. All right, moving on. I purchased these three books together a long time ago, and they are, actually in this order, Born on a Rotten Day, Love on a Rotten Day, and Friends on a Rotten Day. These three books are hilarious, good reads. They're not the best for deep zodiac information, so don't get these if you're looking for a book that really goes into each sign elaborately. While I absolutely do love Hazel Dixon Cooper's books, this is not really a book I would suggest for someone who's just getting into zodiac, although it is definitely hilarious. This is a book for more of the funnier side of the zodiac, like the meaner aspects of each sign. What to expect if you love an asshole, things like that. So I picked those up. I love them. They have definitely helped me with some of my zodiac awareness. This book is a fun little field guide to demons, fairies, fallen angels, and other subversive spirits. I like this book. It's not the best laid out book, but it tells you who's in the mountains, the different regions, what to expect there. I don't know if you can read it because this is a shitty camera. And then it goes into each thing. Let me find one that I'm more familiar with. One that may take forever. Kelpie. I don't really know if I'm familiar. But anyway, yeah, it just goes into what they are, history, lore, and it's just little short sections depending on the thing. There you go, Nixie. Things like that, but I like it. I'll probably use it for my Book of Shadows with the information I do like. It's decent. Alright, I don't think any magical library is complete without the Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, simply because it's just such a classic. Good read. The only thing I don't like about it is that all the pages are black and white, because while it does have that nice antique Book of Shadows herb section feel, I think that for me visually I need more, and especially if I'm actually out in the woods or somewhere searching for these things, because I'm going to look at this and probably pick up 6 plants that look identical in Alabama. We have so many herbs here, or weeds. Anyway, the thing I like about this book, if you don't have it, is it really goes into every little aspect. It has the folk name, the gender, the planet, the element, the deities associated with it, the powers associated with it, and ritual uses. It doesn't have that for each of them, but for the most popular ones like cinnamon or anything you really bake with, you're going to get a plethora of information on those herbs. So when you go to write your own spells or do your own incantations and things like that, this is just such a helpful book, and I use it constantly. Definitely pick this up. Okay, moving on. This is actually a new one I just got. I can't really rate this book yet because I just literally got it. So I'm kind of excited to see what it is. But it's The Witch's Familiar, Spiritual Partnerships for Successful Magic. So I'm going to read this and probably better evaluate it later, because I don't really want to give too firm of a judgment before I've really read it. But yeah, so I haven't read that yet. I can't really say much about it. All right, this one I picked up at a thrift shop, surprisingly. And the cover is kind of torn, but I think I paid $1 for this book. I mean, I am excited to read it. It's by Oak, Ash, and Thorn. I don't even know if it has the regular retail value on this thing. Yeah, I have no idea. They blackened it out. But, yeah, $1.29 I paid for this. And I'm excited because it's a Celtic shamanistic book. And I love Celtic magic. I love shamanistic magic. So this should be a decent read, or pretty good. If you have this book at home, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, because I'm just excited. Okay, moving on. Next book I have is the Book In your dreams. I owned a dream dictionary before. I could not stand it. It had like a face in the sand, and it just felt like everything was sexual and bad. Anything you dreamt about had something to do with like a sexual orientation that was horrible. Like you got hugged, it means that you're struggling with sex. Anyway, this one's not like that. I like this one a lot better. It's still not as elaborate, but it is a pretty big book for dreams, and it just gives little brief things in here, so it's good for a starting point, I think. Good. I don't know. Out of a 1 to 5, I'd give it about a 2 or 3, maybe a 3 or 4. Not as bad as the other one. Okay, this book is The Healer's Manual. This book feels nice, you guys. Like, I don't know, certain things are just made better, I think. It's by Ted Andrews. This is a really good beginner's guide to healing, I think, because it really goes into, like, some of the chakras and the senses of healing. Like, when I say senses, I mean, like, taste, smell, sight, sound, things like that. And it just it teaches you chants to do, different components to use for healing. It's a really good, I think it's a good book anyway for that, for beginners anyway, for healing. I would definitely recommend this. I'm going to add some of this stuff into my Book of Shadows, so it's a good read. It feels awesome. I don't know if you're into how books feel, but it does. Okay, this book, who doesn't have this book? Who doesn't own this? Seriously. This is a cute, good little book for someone beginning magic that might get overwhelmed with all the information they can receive. This is basically telling you, relax, you can do whatever you want, and it kind of gives you like guidelines on how to adapt it to what you like. It's more Wiccan based, obviously. It's called Wicca. Duh, Mary. But, yeah, so it's just going to have, my son, it's just going to have information in here on how to like lay out stuff, basic information. Good read, good book. I love it. And I've definitely updated and done my own things. So, all right, moving on. What's next? This is not a magical book at all. This is just a good read. Excuse me. I like to read, so sometimes you'll find stuff like that. Anyway, I got this book because, like I said, Cunningham's, while a good book, it didn't give me a good visual as much as I like. This is a colored book. So there's a lot more visuals on things like that. Like this is what bear garlic looks like in the wild. I like that. So I don't know. I just got this. I don't know if it has a lot of magical components to it, but it does really show you what the herbs are going to look like. So, and things that are edible. And I kind of need that. I may even get another one because I just really like visuals. Yeah, see, now I've seen honeysuckle before. But see, when you see a drawing, sometimes you can look at a drawing and it just doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? Like, I might not see that and know it's that, even though I picked like the page that is the most easily. Anyway, so I like this book. I just got it. I'm going to be using this a lot outside. It'd be good for my hikes too, to just see what I can find and if I can identify it. Moving on. This is more of like a teeny boppy history book in my opinion. It's called The Dark History of Celts. It's good, but it's a very easy read. So it's not something that, if you already know a lot about Celtic history, this is probably not going to be a good book for you. But I really liked it because the information it gave, where am I? The information it gave on the religious aspects and the romantic aspects, like I'll probably adapt some of this stuff into my rituals. But yeah, some of the religious information on here was pretty cool. I liked it. Like I said, some of it's very basic on god and goddess stuff. But there are some deities in here that aren't really mentioned a lot. Like Epona is in here. Let's see. There's another one. I can't find her now, but she is a water goddess that also doesn't have a lot of info online. So it's still not a ton of information, but it does give little brief infos on some of your deities. So if you are lacking it, this might be a good find for you. And it helped me update some of my info a little bit. Anyway, moving on. Next book I own is Dusty White, The Easiest Way to Learn the Tarot Ever. I like his videos on YouTube way better than this book. I think he's a better visual teacher than a writer, but I shouldn't critique him too bad. this is like a workbook, which I do love my workbooks, you guys. Any kind of book that I can like get into and write in and all that, I love. Even though I'm more of a copier because I'm not going to write in the actual book. But it gives you different lesson plans, things to do, things to learn and rehearse, and things like that. Good book, but I think it's a better companion to the videos. I wish he would release more videos. He's an amazing, funny teacher in a video, and he makes the tarot just so basic and easy to understand, whereas before I kind of struggled in it. This book kind of did help me with that, or his videos helped me with that a lot. So definitely great videos. Writing, it's still not bad. Okay, this book, if you don't own this book and you are new to witchcraft, I would suggest picking this up if you like Wicca especially. It is by Raymond Buckland. It is known as the Big Blue book. This is the first book I ever bought when I decided I didn't give a fuck what anyone thought. I was going to go out full hardcore into witchcraft. I bought this book. It is basically another workbook, and the reason I love this book is because he separates everything into lessons. So, if I can get through the introduction. Okay. So, you see here he has like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and it just goes into all the basics, brief things on all the basics of Wicca. So, if you don't have this book and you're new to Wicca, I would pick it up because I learned so much from this book. I think I completed every one of these lessons in like a day or a week. I mean, I read through this sucker because I just love that stuff. But yeah, so you go through a section. Let me show you real quick. You go through a section, like we'll go through lesson 1 real quick. All right. So it's the history and philosophy of witchcraft. It's brief. It has visual art, which I absolutely love. When I'm reading, I like to see what you're talking about. That helps me a lot. So, you know, the god, it gives different things and just the history of it. I love these little side notes here. It gives like a little more lore, I guess. Things that happened. And then, yeah, okay, hang on. History's a little longer of a section because history, let's face it, it's long. It was a long time ago. After you read, you are given lesson questions, which I think is awesome. And you go through and you fill out these lesson basics. If you have a coven, I think this is just a perfect idea for new initiates to get a little more familiarized with the craft, like in their year and a day initiation. Because it gives such cute lessons. And of course you can adapt and put more of your own in there, but it's just a good read. I loved it. I did update certain things to fit, or adapt, not update. I did adapt certain things to fit my personal religious path, but I loved it. So if you don't own this and you are new to the craft, definitely pick it up. It is good. All right, so that is my witchy book collection for now. I hope to pick up more. Well, those are my Book of Shadows. I have a different video on that. I hope to pick up more later, but tell me what your favorite books and first books were when you get into the craft, or when you got into the craft, in the comments below. And thank you for your patience for this long-ass video and horrible quality. Blessed be.